Hi guys, did you know that your genes are not your destiny? There was a really cool research study done a couple of years ago by the Norwegian University of Science and Technology, and they did genetic research into diets and how diets influence our genes, and more specifically our genetic expression. And so the question they asked is like, what would your genes say they would want to eat if they could talk, I guess. And they found that the answer to that was a third protein, a third carbohydrate, and a third fat. They looked at the typical Norwegian diet, which is very similar for other countries, and found that most people's meals consist of more than about 65% carbohydrates. And so when they looked at this research, they had people follow different diets and kind of like see what it meant for genetic expression, specifically more in terms of inflammation and chronic illness. And they found that as soon as the carbohydrate content went more than a third for meals, it would initiate an activity of these genes that would then stimulate metabolic inflammation. And metabolic inflammation is a condition we see in a lot of chronic illnesses, such as diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular disease, a lot of the modern day diseases that's a drain on our healthcare system. And so they also looked at low-carb diets, and they found that neither low-carb or high-carb diets were ideal, but that low-carb diets were closer in the right path than high-carb diets. So essentially, it means that in choosing what we eat, we choose whether we provide the weapons to our genes that can cause illness. So next time when you prepare your meal, maybe take a bit more time in choosing your macros and the portions correctly.